And I want to welcome Ivan with his speech of English.
Hello everyone, and my speech will be a little bit ambiguous because it was a big dilemma to choose the topic for my speech. And I thought about telling something interesting or maybe useful, but it will be neither of it. And my path to English started in school. First there was English classes in elementary school, but then they were cancelled for some reason, I don't know why. Later on in primary school, they were back, and it mostly was translation of some text with a little bit grammar. So at the end, I could translate a little bit some text, but with speaking, with writing, and so on, and with grammar, I had really big problem. Because I couldn't comprehend the English tenses. There are so many tenses, and I didn't understand why when I thought about talking something in the past, I had to be torn apart 3 different tenses, and for me it was very unclear. At the same time, in school, my father bought some games for learning English, and I guess it was one of the powerful things at that time for learning English. But again, it was mostly learning some words, vocabulary, and because of that, in school, I didn't have a problem to translate something. While some other students didn't even know how to translate some countries or some kind of, they asked me to translate. But at the same time, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even say I have a cow, even though I didn't have a cow. And same story in university. We also had English classes, and at the time, I translated already quite fast. But again, there were some problems with speaking, and the only thing I gained from the university is a battleship game, you know, this game in the notebook. And then, after university, I started working. Even though the work didn't require from me any English skills, as they said, it would be great if you speak some English, or at least write some English. But I couldn't do any of them. And then I realized that to get a good job, I need to speak English. And from that moment, I started learning it, really learning, not at school, procrastinating and cheating, and playing these battleship games. And I thought that I spent so much time learning English, and in fact I didn't speak any of it. So I Googled, I searched for so much information, how people learn English. I searched for blogs, I read, and once I stumbled upon some English teacher from Ukraine, as I remember, and she said a good thought that if you are going to learn English, don't learn it in English. Don't learn it in Russian, because as a Russian native speaker, kind of, I didn't learn Russian using some other language. I learned it kind of naturally. And also, she recommended me one grammar book. It was Raymond Murphy, as I remember, and it was a big push. It was a big push for me for learning Another problem was practice. So I couldn't speak, and then I found some resources where people search for other people. For example, if you are from United States and somebody from Russia, and you are very interested in learning Russian and she is very interested in learning English, you could speak together and you kind of become language partners. And I still remember my first talk with some American guy. As I remember, he was a programmer. And first our speech, he said something in English, and I thought like, what? I didn't understand completely anything from his speech, and I said like, please write something in my Skype. Then I put it in Google Translate. Then I translated, said, clear. Then I said, hold on, I will write something in Russian in this Google Translate. Then I tried to speak what that thing translated. And of course, it was the first and the last conversation with him. And but after reading some grammar books and so on, it became quite good.